Hey, 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 check, check, check.
Hi, Erin.
Hi, Leslie. Sorry about the delay.
No
How are
worries.
you?
I'm a little exhausted today.
I bet. That's congratulations on the win. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my first one. So it's a big deal. A lot of people put in way more time even than I have and never get that.
Mm,
So
that's
yeah,
amazing.
that's amazing.
Now, just clarify for me, Best in Show is the top prize at any event. Is that correct?
She was
So it's
judged
like
the
out of
most
all the participants,
she was judged the most correct dog of all of the dogs at the show.
that's amazing.
That's
Well,
amazing.
congratulations to
Thank
you, all
you.
the hard work you put in, and to Karma for listening well and learning how to present and be at shows. And
Yeah.
that's
Well,
fantastic.
it was with her handler. So I wasn't the one who actually showed her for that. That's still a dream for me to get my own best in show but I did breed her, and it was
Yeah.
Whitney is my handler, and it was her first best in show. She's had a couple of 2 or 3 reserve best in show, but this was her first best, and I was there to see it. And that, I think, is as special as all of it, because so many times when your dog is campaigning on the road, you hear about the wins, but you're not there for them. But
yeah,
she was in the area, and literally I'm like, I'm going to go, because it's only an hour and a half away, just to watch and help them load up and just to make life a little easier for them. And that was the day.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just pause here for a moment. Like, tell me about the experience of like being there, watching the judging, the participation happen, and then seeing it play out. Like, what was that like for you at being invested and like having worked with Karma and raising this dog?
Yeah. Well, what was amazing, I mean, I've watched her in group before, the working group competition, which is the level below best in show. And, after a while, you have to really get a grip on that attachment to outcome deal, or you just end up disappointed a lot, and then it's not fun. So I guess I had really finally reached that point of I'll just watch and see what happens, and as the judge, because winning the group is obviously the first step to getting to best in show. And she hasn't won the group before. She's gotten some other placements. And so I'm watching the judges going down, and sometimes they make a cut and they make a further selection. Sometimes they pick them in reverse order and you don't know. And sometimes they just pick them 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So she did them in reverse order. And so with each one, on some level, you're feeling a little bit like, well, it's probably less likely now. It's probably less likely now. But I remembered watching the judge really carefully, and standard schnauzer's at the end of the line because it's the smallest one. And she came around, and I just noticed how she lingered over her before she went back and started picking them out. And I'm like, I don't know. I think maybe this could really happen. And so sure enough, the last point was for her and to the first place position. So that was super exciting on its own. That was like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. And Whitney's partner was sitting beside me. And so we had a big hug and we had a big celebration.
And that was for what qualification or what award?
The working group. For winning the working group, which is the
working
first
group.
step.
Okay.
Yeah, there's working, sporting, herding, hound, toy, non-sporting, terrier. I think I've left one out, but anyway. And then, they do all the groups in order. And so generally you have to wait from when you win your group to go into best in show, because that's at the very end, obviously. But the working group was the last group of the day. So she had to literally go right from the working group into best in show. That's a little bit of a disadvantage because emotionally you're still all like this and you don't have a chance to rest your dog or refresh the grooming or anything like that. So you turn her right back in the ring. And, that's best in show. These are all really nice dogs. And we're just looking at them going, well, Karma's a really nice looking dog in this group, but these are all really nice dogs. How is she going to choose? And again, there was just a time when I felt like I observed the judge really just lingering over her, giving her an extra look. And then you're always like, so is that extra look ruling them in or ruling them out? And so we're just waiting, and then they announced reserve best in show first, and that was the Shih Tzu. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's just such a nerve-wracking moment because then best in show still in the offing or nothing. I mean, group one is not nothing, but in that lineup. So we're like, and she had a little bobble in her gait because she was so fired up, and Whitney was excited too. And it's okay. And then when the judge And then, so the judge judges everything and then goes back to the judging table and writes down their selection, and then slowly gathers together the ribbons or the trophies for best in show. And it's a thing, you know, they kind of draw it out at that point. And that's like, oh,
Gotta really ratchet up the tension, get
that's right.
everybody on the edge of their seats.
Right. Oh, what a nice lineup of best show
Mm.
dogs. I'm so proud to have gotten to put my hands on all these lovely dogs. You know, reserve best in show goes to this one, and then there's that. And then finally, best in show goes to the standard Schnauzer. And all I remember after that for a while is a bunch of screaming. Mine, Whitney's partner, Jose, people who'd come to cheer for us, because as after she won the group and that word kind of went out, then her friends and my friends all like, oh, well, we got to come for the cheering section.
Mm.
So just a bunch of, it's just kind of a blur after that. It's some screaming, hugging, people patting me on the back. I don't even know who they are. I mean, I know them, but I don't know who it was at any given moment. Pictures, taking videos of taking pictures, and just I at least have had enough big wins over this time to learn to presence myself in the moment so I can fully experience it as much as I possibly can. And yeah, so I at least had the presence pretty soon to go, okay, this is one of those moments. Just enjoy every bit of this. And I was just floating. And it was so, and it was, you know, it was really special was to be special, because a lot of people obviously congratulated Whitney, the handler, about the dog and helped her get the picture. But a lot of her friends too, a lot of the handlers came up and congratulated me, who I was kind of like, felt like I didn't really exist for them before. And it didn't feel like a networking kind of congratulations. It felt like really, you made it. You made it to this level that we're all the rarefied air that all the people at the top are trying to get to. It was more like welcome to be one of us than anything else. And that felt really, really nice to be welcomed into that group. So
yeah, that inner circle opened up and you got to step in finally. That's really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for having me re-experience that. Thank you.
That's, oh man, that's so special to get to share in that, like hearing it from your side, like firsthand from you as it's fresh. And I mean, just getting to have this little recording and be like kind of replaying the memory, you know, while it's still very, you know, reverberant and having experienced it. I think that'll be a really cool way to remember it and document it.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
So, and it's just, and the thing that's really awesome is for Karma, this is her warm-up year. This was literally the year we put her out to see how it goes. Because we kind of figured next year would be the year we're really like pushing her in terms of publicity, in terms of maturity to do more.
Yeah.
And for her to get I mean, she only turned 2 years old last month. She's still a baby. So there's just so much potential there.
There's a lot of years to rack up, a lot of experience and start getting known. And that's amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah. And it's a really good quality of problem to have when you're like, well, I've got this female and she's doing really well. So do we continue her show career? But at some point we need to pull her back and breed some puppies. Right. And so that's always the challenge when you have a really nice female is which thing is the most important to go for. So that'll be next year. We'll be looking at that at the end of next year. But
wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's such wonderful news. And I'm so excited and happy for you and for the team and everybody that's gotten to be part of Karma's story. That's such a special gift.
Yeah. And I do want to also say And I called my mentor, my breeder, the one that I got all my breeding stock from, that Karma is just one generation removed from. And to thank her, because, you know, without her decades of service to the breed and breeding for top temperament as first, and then confirmation to match, we wouldn't have been there, you know. So it was really because of her, as well as because of everyone else.
And see, that's just beautiful that you get to, like, you know, she gets to see the legacy like that she's created through you and through the dogs that you're raising. That's, oh man, what a beautiful experience for everybody.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So just, I mean, just for my own curiosity, what kind of competition was this? Was this like a regional, or what type of, I mean, I don't know very much yet about like the level of shows that you compete in. What sort of event was this?
Okay, so I would say, as far as dog shows go, it was on the smaller side of dog shows. You know, the biggest dog shows of the year that draw the most entries, certainly the most prestigious, are going to be like the National Dog Show, which is on TV Thanksgiving. Westminster, obviously, that's usually in non-COVID times, that's in New York City in February.
Yeah.
COVID times, it's
that one's that's one of the most well-established kennel clubs, correct?
That's like the Super Bowl. That's like the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. And the National Dog Show is just a big deal because it comes on TV right after the Macy's parade on Thanksgiving Day. So a lot of families are just used to rolling from the parade into the dog show.
Yeah.
And then there's
a lot of publicity from that.
Right.
Right. Cool.
And her dad, Frodo, actually was on TV on the National Dog Show a couple of times. So that was cool. Then there's some other big shows for prestige, and then there's some shows just because of where they're located, they just draw big entries, or by tradition, people are just used to that. But there's dog shows all over the country every weekend. I mean, Thursday to Sunday, there's multiple shows in the country. And so that's why some of them are a little smaller, because it's more of a regional.
Sure, yeah.
More of a regional kind of group. And I would call this a more regional show.
Gotcha.
Even though anybody could enter it from here in the world, realistically, Mid-Atlantic is probably the main draw for that show.
I see. I gotcha.
But you don't ever have to put that part in the advertising.
Right. Just saying best in show is a very big credibility builder. That's
exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was funny too, because I sat down with Whitney and Jose, because we were kind of having a business powwow about it, because we're building both my kennel and their handling business to help each other, you know. And Whitney's like, okay, well, Frodo has now sired a best in show dog, so his stud fee just went up. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, of course. How much? So his stud fee is now $5,000. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. And now with the
is Frodo the one that got at Westminster got an honorable mention award?
Yeah, award of merit. Yeah, exactly. He's gotten several of those at Westminster over the years. He actually competed there 5 times.
Wow. So now, and since I'm not as familiar, that is essentially like at the top level, there's winners. So once those slots are filled, if there's an exceptional specimen that the judges want to call out, that's what that award is. Is that the right kind of understanding?
And the number of awards of merit that can be given by the judge is dependent on how many specimens are entered. So if there's only like 5, there probably won't be an award of merit. If there's like 20, there might be 4 or 5, you know?
Mm,
So
mhm,
the award of merit basically is saying on another day,
mhm,
this dog,
mm.
this dog is
At
could
the
be
same
capable
level
of
of,
winning. Yeah,
mhm,
yeah. On another day,
gotcha.
it could be
Mhm.
this dog. This dog's of
Wow,
comparable quality. Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So it's just super exciting with Karma because I bred her, you know. That
Yeah.
one, that
Uh-huh.
one,
It's part of your
although
family to some extent.
exactly. And
Mhm.
though I have to say, looking back on it now, however many is Celtie's like 4, the mom's like 4, the universe completely dovetailed everything together and turned what seemed like a really bad situation into the situation that led to this.
Mhm.
So I can really look back. I didn't really know what I know now. So some
Uh-huh.
of these things I have to piece together in retrospect. And that's so cool to
Mm.
recognize all the ways that the universe is helping you, regardless
Mhm.
of whether you know it is or not.
Yeah. That's
Because when I look
amazing.
back that story, it's
Mhm.
extraordinary that the dog that is Karma's mom came to
Mhm.
me in the circumstances that she did, and then for her
Yeah.
to be such a perfect match to Frodo, to have produced
Mm.
all of these just beyond my imagination quality of dogs.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So, I sent you the bio, and I don't want to
Mhm.
take up the whole time working with that because you can kind of go in there and add the little
Right.
details that kind of make it accurate and make it specific to
Yeah.
the people you're trying to talk to. But I just want to kind of go through and see if that sort of satisfies what you're looking for in terms of getting the basic building blocks there.
Yeah. Let me look over together.
So I can read it out loud if that's helpful, and then we can
Okay.
just talk about if there's anything. So the first thing I put on there is since you said that the purpose of this is to really help people be aware that you have your line of schnauzers, and so to kind of position that as this is why these dogs are valuable and why you as an expert have very carefully cared for these dogs and are breeding them specifically. So Shriner Schnauzers, and you don't have to use this language if you don't want it, but like Shriner Schnauzers are the only best in class standard Schnauzers, and I'm trying to use language that isn't boxing us in
Right.
or being inaccurate to the market, but are the only best in class standard Schnauzers bred first for family oriented temperaments and make one of a kind pets with a purpose.
I love the one of a kind and
So
the family oriented temperaments. Because that speaks to a lot that people looking for a show dog
mhm,
still, that's important. Um,
yeah.
the only thing that I have to tweak is I don't think I can say only. I because
Hmm,
there are
mhm,
others who do, but we could certainly say something like are exemplary
mhm.
best in class.
Sure. Our exemplary best in class. Yeah, we can do that.
As much
Exemplary.
because if I say only, then I immediately get pushback from some other people who are like, I am too, or what I
Yeah.
have that
Uh-huh.
conversation. I don't want to make enemies of those people.
Yeah, for sure. So so the other thing that I saw is now it's up to you. Like if you feel comfortable saying exemplary, we can leave it at that. I looked for that exact language, like only best in class standard schnauzers. I also looked for only standard schnauzers, family oriented temperaments. Nothing comes up on Google, so nobody is using those terms to market their dogs. No, it's not.
I
You
believe
can't
that.
find you can't find anybody that's saying those things. So if you wanted to carve out a niche for yourself, you could say we are the first best in class
Hmm.
standard schnauzers who specialize in breeding first, family oriented temperaments. And, so you could say something like, we're the first ones that are really niching down and being known for this. But that's things that you kind of really, I mean, if your market really doesn't care, then it doesn't make
I,
any sense to push it. So this would be something that you refine over time.
I like that wording too,
Mm-hmm.
about first, or,
Mm-hmm.
predominantly. Again,
Yeah.
it's just that I believe that the market would be like, oh yeah, they don't know the
Mm-hmm.
difference.
Right.
It's a small community, and there's
Mm-hmm.
already some in the community about,
Uh-huh.
oh, you think you're so great. Nah, 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 nah. So,
Uh-huh.
and then it would be irritating for
Yeah.
those people to get in the middle of my comments or things like that, you
Yeah.
know. And I don't know that they would, but
Yeah.
I do have a feeling someone would be to themselves, can you believe she said that? About putting myself as only or
Uh-huh.
first, or
Yeah.
if I don't. So what I've always tried to do diplomatically or
Mm-hmm.
politically is, oh yes, there's absolutely room to share this highest tier with you.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy, but come
Mm-hmm.
on. The more
Yeah.
of us at this highest level of
Yeah.
integrity and um passion,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like, that's why
Mm-hmm.
superlatives, I like superlatives for that, because then it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you could be exemplary too. Just be exemplary. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that really sets you apart is it's your line. I mean, so nobody can really compete with you on that. It's like if you want a Shriner Schnauzer, it's like you can only get them from Leslie. I
Right.
mean, I don't know what you're gonna, if you're gonna have an official name for like, but
Yeah,
if you want a
my
standard
kennel,
Schnauzer that is
name is Straw Hat.
straw hat, yeah,
So it would be Straw Hat standard schnauzers.
hmm
Or Straw Hat
yeah. So there you
standard.
go.
Yeah.
And if you make, you know, best in class standards, with family oriented temperaments, like we're some of the pioneers in this space. You just make straw hat now synonymous with that idea. It doesn't matter who was first, it doesn't matter who is the best. If that's the idea, if that idea goes hand in hand with like, oh, if you want a show dog that's like the best family pet, you should go to Leslie. Like you just link those.
That's
And if that's, doesn't matter that anybody else is doing it, if people just know you for that,
yes.
that's what they're going to think of.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly where we want to position ourselves.
Hmm.
That's uh, part of what Jose has been coaching me
Hmm.
to the mindset of being a world-class breeder, that
Yeah.
people around the world might be like, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
over here in Czech Republic, but I want your dog, or
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever. So
Hmm.
um so yes, that's exactly, and that's actually the more the angle, especially now with this best in show. If
Hmm.
there was any doubt before, that secret, that the languaging, I want to be attracting the highest level people,
Hmm.
and then people at a tier below that will easily be able to see
Yeah.
why they want that. And also then the ones that are just like, no, I just want a pet that I just, here's my money and give me a dog, that they don't
Yeah.
even talk to me.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's your best customers are probably going to be, you're going to have families who want a high quality dog and are willing to spend some money on it. And then you'll probably get a few over your career of like somebody who's like, they don't know anything about dogs. They don't care anything about dogs. They just want the best in the dogs. And so they get their assistant to be like, go buy like one of the best dogs, like get my kid whatever is the best quality dog. And so, somebody from like Dubai might, send their assistant and be like, "Oh, here's a lady who breeds like world-class schnauzers that are really good for kids. Let's get one of hers."
Right.
Something like that where because you've got the marketing out there, because you've got the like they don't need to know the details, they don't really care about the industry
Mhm.
details, you know, or the kind of the specifics. They just, does it look good to a market that's willing to pay?
Right.
And that's probably going to be, you know, the type of customer. So that's kind of what we're constructing this around is, you know, what could go on the back of your biography, or like if you do a, you know, a bit on like an Animal Planet TV series where you feature your dogs, like here's some information that the producers can have that they can, you know, work into the program, that sort of thing. So
Yeah, exactly. Stuff
that's
on a one sheet or something like that. Yeah.
exactly. So that's what this is. So Leslie Schreiner is the world's only owner handler who's consistently competed against professional handlers and won the AKC National Specialty Winners Dog, Best of Winners, and now Best of Show, multiple years in a row for standard schnauzers. Let's see, and you can adjust, you know, this language like to be very
Mhm.
accurate and specific to your Best of Winners and Best of Show. So exciting. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Her dog Frodo finished in 2019 as the #1 standard schnauzer in the United States. As of 2022, her dog Karma is a Best in Show winner
Uh-huh.
and currently the #1 female standard schnauzer in the country. Leslie has helped owners successfully show and finish top quality dogs for over 24 years and has over 3 decades of experience working with standard schnauzers. Leslie, she's worked as a veterinary nurse and owns a professional show dog grooming business specializing in top quality care for standard schnauzer champions. Schreiner Schnauzers, or Straw Hat Schnauzers, we can call it that. Straw Hat Schnauzers is Leslie's line of world-class winning show dogs. Hand raised to be one-of-a-kind family pets, and the only consistently winning champion line of standard Schnauzers bred first for family-oriented temperaments. Leslie believes your dog should have a purpose just as important as yours and loves supporting owners who take pride in caring for their dogs as part of their family. To
Mhm.
learn more about her schnauzers, which are available exclusively through Leslie Schreiner, or to contact for public speaking and consulting, visit your website or preferred social media channel.
Mhm. Yep. And
But,
I'm having that. I had a conversation earlier this morning with
mhm,
my friend, the person who's putting together that. So that's almost I'm gonna
fantastic.
give her some of this information to update the
Mhm.
bio section, and so that should be live in the next week or two.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So does that feel like that's a solid foundation for you to start kind of, you build that as an asset and then just continue to update it as the years progress? And then I would also
Yeah.
suggest you probably have this, but like kind of the pedigree of like, here are all the wins, all the shows that my dogs have been in, been recognized or taken home awards, just so that you have that as like your kind of your list of credits, so to speak.
Yes, and that's part of what we're putting together,
Mhm.
Jose and Whitney and I, for the advertising, like the social media advertising and
Yeah.
the dog magazine
Mhm.
advertising. There's magazines that go out to dog show judges every week.
Mm. Wow.
Crazy what people spend on advertising their show dogs. So
Yeah.
it's really good. We just we're in negotiations. They just need to sign the contract for a sponsor for her.
Mhm.
So basically the sponsor is the person who agrees to pay the advertising so that they can have their name on the dog, so that they can say, yeah, I have a best in show
Mhm.
winning dog, even though the dog will never live with them. You know,
Yeah.
that's a different level of bragging rights that people want. So
Mhm.
yeah. So that's definitely the next step for Frodo, for
Mhm.
Karma, some of her brothers who have the biggest accomplishments as well, because that
Mm.
is really establishes Frodo as this
Mhm.
as the awesome stud dog that he really is. Because
Yeah.
this any stud dog that produced a puppy that did any of the things that
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 of them have already done
Mm-hmm.
would be amazing. And that he's has 4 or 5 already that have done those
Yeah.
things is huge. So that's definitely coming down the pipeline. You're right on about that.
Perfect. All right. Well, excellent. So let's take a quick look at the graphic, the lead magnet that I put together for you. And
Okay.
then if that needs any adjustment, then what we'll do is we'll schedule a quick like 15-minute review session. That'll be the one like the calendar link that you can kind of pay for the service. And then, but I'll just show you what I have, and we'll see if this is in line with what you're thinking, or if we need to make some pivots. So let me share my screen here. All right. So this is what I've got. Based on what we talked about, you said you wanted something that contextualizes your grooming service as well as kind of starts to position you more like an expert. And so the things that we talked about is that you really have kind of 3 categories that people tend to ask you for help, which is like, oh, I need to learn, like, what do I need to know when I'm getting a puppy? Or like, I'm starting to think about getting like a purebred dog. What should I know going into that space? And then for people who have dogs already, they're older dogs, maybe they're asking for health advice or like end of life care. And then for the professionally prepared dogs who they're competing, they're looking to win, those sorts of dogs. So these are the 3 categories that I've organized this in. And the top row, like the first one for each one of these is sort of like consulting. If people just have questions, here's some of the basic things that people might have like right off the top of their head that they might want to ask you about. So
Mhm.
for puppies, for purebred pup consulting, it's like how do you select a perfect puppy without getting a second rate animal? Know the red flags when you're picking a breeder. Um,
That's
and
perfect.
then for older dogs, if you want healthy older dogs, we do consulting to get your health questions
Mhm.
addressed without feeling confused. If your vet's telling you one thing, your gut tells you another. It's like here's somebody who works with dogs all the time and has worked with lots of vets, so they could call you about that. Or if you want confirmation consulting, it's like, okay, I don't know the first thing about showing my dog. What do I need? What should I think about? Like if that's something that needs to be on the table
Yep.
in order for me to get access to a best quality dog, you can get all your questions answered about showing your dog, answered from a multi-winning dog showing expert.
Yeah.
So then in terms of care, um, for your puppy, you can get a good, if you want to care for your puppy, if you have plans to get them finished as a champion, we can set you up with a good handler so you can finish your dog without needing to learn how to show them yourself. And the same thing, if you're in professional arenas, you can use our recommended pro handlers to finish your champion so you don't have to. So, and then for end of life care, if you're in that space where you're wanting some care for your older dog, for your pet or your family, needs
Mhm.
some, just like what should we do? Like when's the right time to get a puppy after the dog is put down, that kind of thing. So like get family grief counseling or care recommendations when losing a beloved pet. You're not alone. This
Mhm.
is something that's important to us. And then the last is your grooming services. So kind of the last impression that we want to leave with them. So if you have a puppy, we want to kind of begin grooming your champion, like set them up for success. So best in class grooming without teaching them bad habits.
Right.
Important if you want to show your dog. For older dogs, preserve your legacy. We groom older dogs without hurting or stressing your pet and honor your champion's legacy. And then for professionally prepared dogs, so winner worthy coats if you need to finish your champion, getting points deducted, top quality hand stripping and full cut. So just kind of starts to give people an idea of like the level of what they're getting when they work with you. So if they just have questions, here's the first thing that they might want. Like if I'm a, if I'm getting into the professional space or if I'm thinking about getting a puppy, it's like this might be some of the first things I think about. You're just
Right.
thinking about caring about your animals. That's kind of this second line. And then for your grooming services, here's how those fit into like each of these categories. And then at the top, this is just really quick one-liner, couple of things like Leslie Schreiner specializes in helping you show your dog's best. She works with standard Schnauzer owners, families looking for a quality pet, and owners looking to finish their dog as champions. So kind of like, here's who I really work best with. And then Leslie's helped at the very bottom. This is a little bit like to find out a little bit more, and it's kind of the short micro version of your bio. Leslie's successfully has helped successfully show and finish top quality dogs for over 24 years, has over 3 decades of experience working with standard schnauzers. She's worked as a veterinary nurse and owns a professional dog show grooming business.
Right.
So off the top of your head, thoughts just like, how does it feel emotionally seeing this? Does it feel like it gives you a good framework to kind of talk to people or provide them a resource with, hey, if you want to find out more, or like if you have some specific questions about what do I get when I'm talking to you, how does this feel like it satisfies what you need?
First off, I love it on a macro level, and I love the way that you picked out so many things, and yet they're all so discrete, but they're all important points, and you've put them forward in a way that is not cluttered and not confusing, which was the part that was overwhelming me. Is I could visualize this, but this is really exactly what I'm looking for. There's a couple of little tweaks and some stuff like that I see, but to me, that's very minor. The thing itself is wonderful. It makes me excited to see it. I feel like, that's me. Yeah, that's how I want to be seen. That's what I do. So thumbs up. I really, really like that. And just it's clear, the graphics, all the little pictures that you have fit really well, and convey information along with and the way you've distilled each point is just, is exactly what I knew I couldn't do.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that. It's a big part of why I'm in this is like to help people feel like they're moving forward. And so like if it feels like we're in the right neighborhood and ballpark, and it to me it sounds like you feel like this is a big like a big chunk of things you don't have to worry about now, that you can
I mean, this is a great starting point for even for the redoing the website for my grooming shop that I know I need to do, because I've pivoted my business away from general pet grooming to more specialized grooming. And again, a part of it was hard for me to organize my thoughts and how to do that and explain to the lady who does my website. Now I have, this is the main page, or more or less, and then build me some links for all these different things. Build me a page for each of these different things, and exactly. Perfect. And it really gives people an idea of that I'm not just a groomer, because that's the thing I'm really currently trying to pull myself out of, is the morass of commodity grooming.
So you mentioned you had some thoughts in terms of tweaks. Are you thinking bigger things, or are there like little details that we could go through right now and fix together?
There's some of them are a couple of typos and some minor things, and then one that maybe we tweak a little bit more, but absolutely, that we could spend some time going through.
All right, so let me pull up a doc. If we have bigger changes that we can't do right this moment, I can make a note, but go ahead and tell me what comes up for you.
Okay, let's start with the first one. Purebred pup consulting. That's perfect. I love that. I've been trying to get people to let me coach them on that for a long time. And so many people just seem to think that everybody knows how to get a dog. It's that easy, and trying to convince people that they actually, that there's such a monumental difference in going into it blind versus educated, who knew, right?
Yeah.
So then the second one, Pro Pup Care. So that's the one I want to change a little bit, because that's not so much get a good handler. I love what you have, the 8 professional handling over there.
Okay.
Is perfect. The only thing I'm going to change about number 8 is if you can find a dog with a leash graphic, but that's standing up instead of sitting down. So like in a show stance. And if you need an idea of, yeah, so like that one. Oh, or that one. Yeah, either the black one you're pointing at now, or maybe the outline one.
Let's see if we can. Let's try the other outline. Let's just see what that one looks like.
I like that one because I like the direction it's facing better. I'm not sure
he looks
why.
like he's. Yeah, he looks like he's. I mean, it's reminiscent of the, taking him to the show. Oh, here's one that's got the cropped ears.
Oh yeah,
let's try. What do you think?
The other one is a little more elegant. Farther down, that one.
This one?
The outline one. That one's got cropped ears, and it's a little. I wonder if there's a way to mirror image it, or what else there might be farther down.
Let's see if they have a mirror of them. I don't see a reverse of this one.
Keep finding ones farther down. I don't know if there's any. Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's try that. Let's see if I just do leash.
I think I still like that one best.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. And then you said was there anything on the text that you wanted adjusted?
No.
Using for professional handling, use our recommended pro handlers to finish your champion, so you don't have to.
Yep.
Okay. And then for the Pro Pup Care, you said that
yeah, we want to so the Pro Pup Care, that's more like advice for puppy socialization and training.
All right, so
like getting your puppy off on a good foot. Correctly training and socializing your puppy. To meet his full potential.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things too, is you can buy the best puppy, and if you don't do the right stuff, then the potential won't be met.
Yeah, so start your pup pup off on the right foot. Get maybe just do this. Get help
Yeah,
to train and socialize your puppy to meet its full potential.
right. And I would add correctly train and socialize, because people think that that's just that's oh, well, I know how to do that. I just take him into
Yeah.
public places. Oh, but did you overwhelm him and scare the crap out of him instead of actually
Yeah.
teaching him to be comfortable there? Yeah, and get support. I like support better than help, because
Sure.
help has a lot of connotations that mess with people's limiting beliefs, or, oh, I don't need help, or, yeah. But support. And if the first line makes it too long, because it's getting long with start your pup off on the right foot, we don't have to include that,
Sure.
because your others were just pretty much, here's just the facts, We'll support you to correctly train and socialize your puppy to meet its full potential. Yeah. There, that I like that, because that's really what the next the really important puppy step that is often overlooked is. So for the groom your champion, I'm a little unclear if that is saying I do the grooming or I teach you to do the grooming, because I do both.
You could do, I mean, either one. If it's,
Okay.
I mean,
so then it's okay to
so
be a little bit vague and then have them ask the question.
yeah, if it's something that you want both options available, you don't want to be so specific. So, if you want to, if people are asking, so why is grooming important? Well, you can educate, if you take them to an inexpensive groomer, you don't know how they're handling your dog. And if you haven't finished your dog, like they need to learn how to be, touched, how to be handled. So they're not learning bad habits. They need to learn how to listen when they're standing on a table. And that's what we do is we prepare them in the process of grooming them. We're making sure that they're learning how to behave, learning how to stand, learning how to listen,
learning how to be a show dog on the
you
grooming
won't get
table,
that
not
if you just take them down to PetSmart.
Right. Not just teaching them to be a pet dog on the grooming table. Right.
Yeah. And so you can say, if you would like only professionals to handle your dog, that's why you would pay me to trim your dog. If you want to learn how to do it yourself, I show you how to cut your dog's hair in a way that gets them ready to be shown, so that you're not worried about somebody else touching your dog and you don't know what's happening when you drop them off for an appointment. That sort of thing.
Right. And because all it takes is one mistaken cut of hair in the wrong place, and now your dog's not competitive for the next 4 months, honestly.
So if we say instead of important, is this crucial? Like for
I think
them to
crucial
not learn
fine.
bad habits?
Yeah, I think it is crucial.
Okay.
Yeah. And then let's see, healthy older dog consulting is perfect. End of life care counseling, I think, is an S there instead of a C.
Oh, let's see. How do we spell counseling? My brain is yeah. Oops. Family grief counseling or care recommendations.
Maybe oh, and I'm trying to decide if that should be an or an and. I think maybe an and.
Care.
And recommendations.
Maybe
Oh, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
Recommendations, I'm pretty sure is 1C and 2Ms.
C and yep, that looks right. Double check that. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah. Okay. And should we say, I mean, is losing a pet a little too on the nose? Should we say like, as your pet ages, or do we want to like be real specific so people know, like, if this is the stage you're at and you want some
Yeah,
help?
I know. I was just, I'm thinking about that because
Mhm.
family
I mean,
grief
we say
counseling.
here,
Oh, I know.
so maybe go
Grief
ahead.
counseling and end of life care recommendations for
Okay.
your beloved pet.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Get family grief counseling and end of life care recommendations for your beloved pet. You're not home. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
All
then
right.
preserve your legacy. I get what you're going for there, except that it's really just, it's not so much about the champion's legacy at that point, because that's your family companion who's coming to
Sure.
the end of their life at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So
You want to just lose that last line?
I've always called this service hospice grooming. So
Gotcha.
we offer hospice grooming
Mm-hmm.
for older dogs. Um, to avoid hurting or stressing your pet.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to rearrange this a little more, but I think it's older, maybe start with older dogs can be delicate, or older dogs need delicate care.
Mm-hmm.
We offer hospice grooming. So they can be comfortable and safe at the end of life or something like that.
So older dogs can need delicate care. We
Let's
offer
say instead
grooming.
of can need, let's say require.
Okay. Older dogs require delicate care. Okay, there you go. Require delicate care. We offer hospice grooming to avoid hurting or stressing your pet.
And I think we have to say, I think avoid hurting has to be assumed. I don't want people wondering, oh, could that happen? But what we could say to minimize stressing your pet.
All right. Yeah.
While allowing it to be clean and comfortable. To minimize stress on your pet, or minimize stress while maintaining cleanliness, or while maintaining hygiene, or something like that. people with really older dogs, they'll know what I'm talking about
Mhm.
there. You know,
Gotcha.
the dogs that are starting having continence issues.
Mhm. Let's see. No stress.
To minimize stress while maintaining comfort and hygiene. I think the GIEN. No, IE. Here, let me look it up. I think it's HYGIENE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of oops.
Mhm. Maybe that's where you put hospice grooming.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of unique. I've never heard any, that doesn't
Mhm.
mean nobody else is using that term, but I've never heard anybody but me use that term.
Mhm. So hospice grooming, we offer delicate care for older pets to minimize stress while maintaining comfort and hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah.
That feels
I like
yeah,
that.
that feels good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that yeah, that's very unique and it's like it immediately tells you who it's for. So
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So number 7, confirmation has an O instead of an I.
Okay. Formation.
Yeah.
Okay. So get all your questions about showing your dog answered from a multi-winning, probably should be dog showing expert.
Mhm.
Is that like, does that make, I mean, is that how you would say that? Is that the correct sentence structure or is it
It's
close
close.
enough? Good,
It's
good enough?
close. It may be something I have to sit with a little bit.
Mhm.
It's close. It's not quite exactly, I don't
Mhm.
go, oh yeah, that's it, but
Mhm.
it's close.
Mhm.
Um, let's come back to that
Mhm.
for a second. So number
Sure.
8 is perfect.
Multi-winning show veteran, like a from let's see, because we want because this is something that you've helped people with.
Yeah, it's
It's not
really
just
broad
you.
because
Hmm.
I can either help them show their own dog. So my
Hmm.
experience as an owner handler's relevant there, but I'm also a good guide for
Hmm.
to connect people with higher level professionals within the dog showing community, you know,
Hmm.
that are a higher level than I am.
Hmm.
So, but get all your
Hmm.
questions about showing your dog answered. From an experienced what? from an expert who has shown dogs at all levels.
From a, see, I'm trying to think of like language that a lot of that other experts use. Like a lot of times they'll say like, uh, like proven track record of wins, um, like expert with a history, um, from a
From a
well, let's approach it from a different angle. What are questions that people usually ask when saying like when they're asking you about showing their dog or starting to get into that space, if they came to you for advice, what
okay,
are
so then
things
part
they
of
typically ask?
something that they might ask or they might need to ask, and I might have to teach them that they need to ask is, what makes their dog competitive or not? Because some
Mm,
people, they're like, I got this show dog, and they put it up on
mm-hmm,
the table, and the first thing I look at it in my head, I'm like, that dog's not going to finish,
mm-hmm,
because I know the conformation. I look at
mm,
it, I know what's going to be competitive, especially for a standard schnauzer, and I can at a glance
mm-hmm,
pretty much tell you
mm-hmm,
if it's going to have a chance in the ring or not.
mm-hmm,
Or and give you an assessment of, will it finish easily, or is it going to be a long campaign to get enough points on that dog?
mm-hmm,
And but a lot of people, when I start talking to them about conformation, they know almost nothing about it, actually. Like,
mm-hmm,
I get into esoterica for them pretty quickly, even just describing the breed standard, that should be as long as it is tall. So it's square in
mm-hmm,
profile. And they're like, square in profile, and that's
mm-hmm,
the first level of, we haven't even gotten into shoulder layback or, length of,
mm-hmm,
arch of neck or balanced gait. Uh, so, and all
mm-hmm,
of those things are affected just like you would. So a good human analogy is looking at athletes, and human conformation is going to
mm-hmm,
dictate the difference between a basketball player and a tight end. They're not going to be built the same.
mm-hmm.
So if you look at different breeds of dogs as different sports positions, that I've never had that thought before, but that kind of helps. Why should it look like this? And if you have, well, this is a standard schnauzer, and let's say standard schnauzer should be like a tight end, but this standard schnauzer, even no matter how good its pedigree is built like a
Mm-hmm.
basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to have the right conformation to be a good tight end. It's
Yeah.
not going to have the right conformation to be a good representative example of a standard schnauzer.
Yeah. So how about something like this? Learn the hallmarks of a champion dog and how to finish your pet from a multi-winning show dog expert.
I think that's good, except we can't use pet in that context because pet and
Mm,
show are mutually exclusive in that
gotcha.
context.
Okay.
However, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, learn the
Mm-hmm.
hallmarks of a maybe even of a competitive champion dog. Because like I said, there are sometimes you're like, well, this one's finishable, which means it could be done if you got deep enough pockets and you're willing to spend the time. So of a competitive champion dog. And how to finish them. Yeah, how to finish them or it. I think we're kind of back. We might want to look over everything for consistency on his, its, theirs when we refer to the dogs.
One hallmarks of a competitive champion dog, and how to finish it.
Yeah.
From a multi-winning just expert, maybe?
Yeah, from a
multi-win expert. Or
I'm working on that. The multi-winning doesn't convey as much information as it sounds like it does within the community. So from a maybe even from a consistently winning expert, because that indicates over a period of time. And I feel 100% confident and embodied in that.
Yeah. Learn the hallmarks of a competitive champion dog and how to finish it from a consistently winning expert.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then down here, like if they're like if that's not enough, like down here we've got additional information that's like you've got 24 years of helping show and finish top quality dogs. So it's like this is something that you help people with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And especially if you're into standard schnauzers, like you've got a lot of time under your belt with that. So that's
yeah. And then the last one, winter worthy coats. I really like that. I want to change the wording because what I do there is especially for owner handlers, it's a huge learning curve, both the showing and the grooming. And if they're trying to master both of these learning curves at the same time, it's really discouraging. So what I do is I do the grooming. So they only have to master the handling. So want to focus on your owner handling skills. I groom and prepare your dog for the ring so you don't have to, or something like that. Or another thing people do to save money sometimes is they make an arrangement with a handler that's called a ringside pickup. And what that is that the dog is groomed and prepared ahead by someone else, and all the handler does is take it in the ring. So sometimes owner handlers will exercise that option because it's cheaper. They'll have somebody, and maybe the dog isn't living with the handler, so somebody else is doing the grooming to maintain it, so it can be shown weekend to weekend as opposed to on a campaign.
Right. So what does that is ringside pickup the service?
Yeah, but that's that I'm trying to keep it into the 3 lines like we have for each of these, which is really good. So let's see, winter worthy cuts. Well, just to get something started for owner handlers and ringside pickup. We can show groom your dog so you don't have to, or something like that. Well, show groom your schnauzer. That's also going to be really specific there. I don't show groom a different breed because I'm not an expert at that level in other breeds. And then we can play with that. But that's more the message that I want to express. For owner handlers and ringside pickup, we show groom your schnauzer so you don't have to. I wrote it down. I don't know if that helps.
For owner handlers, okay. Do you want to, is this hand stripping and cut, is that important, or do we want to just, for owner handlers, we show groom your schnauzer so you don't have to? And then did you have ringside, what was on there? Ringside pickup? Was
Yeah,
that
for
on there
owner
as well?
handlers, and owner handler is 2 words hyphenated.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Owner handlers.
Handlers
Okay.
and ringside pickup.
And ringside. Is ringside one word?
Yes.
Ringside pickup. Owner handlers and ringside pickup. We show groom your schnauzers so you don't.
So let's make that, we show strip your schnauzer. Yeah.
Okay, we show strip.
Yep. And it doesn't have to just be standard schnauzers, because I can do that with pretty much, well, I can do it with standard and giant schnauzers. And so if somebody asked me about a mini, then I would explain that.
Okay, sure.
Somebody else would have to do the legs. I can do its jacket, but the leg grooming is its own thing on minis.
For owner handlers and ringside pickup, we show strip your schnauzers so you don't have to.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't have to, or so you can focus on winning, or I mean, do we want to project what is it that they're getting? Is it the one less thing to do, or less overwhelm of things to have to be good at? Is that good enough for for what they want?
I think if we're going to keep it to 3 lines, I think it is.
Sure. Okay.
I think it would be like another, at least half a sentence to convey
show your strengths,
that other piece. And that's part of why, for owner handlers, it's an advantage that they can have. Like my mentor, she reached a point 10 years ago where she's like, I still like to show, but I don't want to groom anymore. Will you? And I said, sure. So
what are some other synonyms for the show or for the ring? So we show strip your schnauzers for the ring, to be ring ready or something, or do we just?
I feel like show stripping or show grooming.
Okay, gotcha.
Establishes that.
Okay. Then does this look just look like other things that you're
The signal got really, really choppy there, so I could not understand any of what you just asked me. And now it looks like you've frozen entirely. Or I have. I can't tell. Well, I'm the host now.
Hey, sorry about that. Our
No worries.
office internet is down for some reason. So just wanted to kind of, I think we were pretty close, but just wanted to check and see if that felt like there's any other major things that you wanted to adjust.
The only thing I could think of was at the very end, the section at the bottom,
Mhm.
after veterinary nurse,
Mhm.
also professional trainer.
Okay. Worked as veterinary nurse, professional trainer,
Mhm.
and owns a professional dog show grooming business. Okay. Do you want to put, um, and I'm just thinking in terms of telegraphing ahead of time what their experience might be. Do you want to put something in either the top or the bottom line about working with you, like Leslie and her team, just so that it's, in the best interest of like serving you? It's like, you may not be working with me directly. I may refer you to somebody in my network. I
Mhm.
may work out a deal with somebody, but it's like part of how you're helping on the fulfillment side is you don't necessarily have to work with me. I have the right people set up to get you the outcome that you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
All right. So, and her team has, let's see. So let's see. Leslie Schreiner and her team specializes in helping you show your dog's best. She works with standard Schnauzer owners, families looking for a quality pet, and owners looking to finish their dogs as champions. And then at the end, Leslie has helped successfully show and finish top quality dogs for over 24 years and has over 3 decades of experience working with standard Schnauzers. She has worked as a veterinary nurse, professional trainer, and owns a professional show dog grooming business.
Okay, so for professionals, show grooming business, we can take
Professional
the
show dog grooming business.
we can
is
take the
what-
professional out there.
Okay.
Kind of
Owns a
redundant.
show dog grooming business. Okay.
Although I'm not that specialized, I do other things beyond. So I don't want people to think that they're ruled out just because they don't have a show
Mhm.
dog. So, and specialty dog grooming business.
Okay. Specialty dog grooming business. Okay.
I find that wording tends to rule some people out. Oh, I don't want
Mhm.
specialty grooming. And other people like, oh, what kind of specialty grooming?
Yeah. Mhm. Cool.
There was something about that last sentence again, though, but I couldn't remember all of it. So can you read that again?
Yeah. Leslie has helped successfully show and finish top quality dogs for
Okay,
over
pause
24
there.
years. Mhm.
Has helped people
Hmm.
show,
Okay.
helped owners,
Mhm.
helped owners.
Owners successfully show and finish their top quality dogs for over 24 years and
Mhm.
has over 3 decades of experience working with standard schnauzers.
Yeah.
She's worked as a veterinary nurse, professional trainer, and owns a specialty dog grooming business.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That feels good.
Can you read that top sentence again? Let me hear that one more time.
Mhm.
I can't quite remember
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So the very first, like the big bold print is get help from a top dog. I mean,
I like
just
that.
kind of a fun.
By the way, I really do like that.
Just kind of a fun, like friendly, clever thing to say. And then Leslie Schreiner and her team specializes in helping you show your dog's best. She works with, yeah.
That's where I would put professional team.
Okay, and her professional team. Okay.
Because there isn't anybody that I would be referring who isn't
Right.
themselves a career professional.
Mhm. All right. Leslie Schreiner and her professional team specialize in helping you show your dog's best. She works with standard Schnauzer owners, families looking for a quality pet, and owners looking to finish their dogs as champions.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Good.
I like it.
All right.
I have a
Okay.
question for you because here's a
Yes.
thought process I have.
Mhm.
Do you speak any Spanish, or do you know it? Do you have any associates that do?
I don't. Um, Trying to think if I have anybody. I don't know anybody off the top of my head. What were you thinking?
So the reason I'm thinking is because I'm going to take what you've done here
Mm-hmm.
to for Jose to take a look at,
Uh-huh.
because and I think it could really help him and speed his process to be able to
Mm,
have a similar kind of conversation. But there's a little bit of a language barrier there. It's even taken me a while
mhm,
to learn his Venezuelan accent, and he speaks
mhm.
really fast. So sometimes I'm just like, nope, slower. Try again. So slower. So it's a little harder to
I gotcha.
do the brain dump to brain dump when there's a
Hmm.
little bit of a language barrier. But
Hmm.
I just, they're so busy showing that, and
Hmm.
he's still in his mind about I have to do, but I also know that the person who's been helping him with his media stuff might be moving to California, and that might or might not impact their ability to continue working together. So I'm
Hmm.
just projecting ahead to
Yeah.
see if I might be able to position you guys together somehow. So
Mm.
a random thought I had.
Yeah, if if the time comes he needs help, he's welcome to reach out. If it works out, works out. If not, we can, we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to
Yeah, it was an idle thought. Yes, we'll continue to
it.
cross the bridge when we get to it. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I feel like I've, jumped ahead light years in terms of being able to, what do you do? This, I do this. These are all the things I
Mm.
do. And it's not complicated. It's easy to understand. It hits people where they are, where they can find themselves pretty much anywhere in there, which
Hmm.
is terrific, which you can't in a paragraph. I mean, or in a,
Yeah.
they're going to drown in text before they find themselves. But they can find themselves very
Yeah.
easily on this graphic.
Hmm.
That's probably the biggest value about it, is that the people can easily find themselves in it without
Hmm.
getting lost in a bunch of text that they might or might not have the attention span to read.
Hmm.
It's awesome.
Well, cool. I'm so glad I'm so glad you express it that way, that you feel like you've really leapfrogged ahead. Um,
That's
that's
what I wanted.
that's a big deal.
It is. It is. Because there are certain areas where I can move faster, and certain areas where I'm still experiencing resistance in terms of my own ability to
Hmm.
create. And this is one of the areas
Yeah.
that I'm slow to create for multiple reasons.
Hmm.
Internal and
I
technology
Yeah.
is not my interest. I'd rather work with
Hmm.
dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's so good that you know like where your gifting is and what you really love doing. I mean, I struggle in the same way, in the sense that like I'm the kind of person that is um I'm able to do anything. I probably shouldn't do everything. And it's really hard for me to give up the experience of like trying something new and say, I really just need to give this to somebody who that's what they do day in and day out. They'll be light years faster than me. They'll give me something way better than I would be able to do my first crack at it. And I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes, but it's really nice to be able to just like, oh, I need this done, and then you give it to somebody and it comes back, oh, but I didn't have to exert any energy to like for that to just happen. So
Yeah.
I kind of understand a little bit like the where you might be coming from. So, but
Yeah. And
it's
I think as you continue to grow into it, I mean, part of why it happens
mhm,
for me is because I now no longer have enough time to do all of the
mm,
tasks required to move ahead to the goal I want.
Yeah.
So now I have to make some choices because now I'm like, well, I want to do this, but I can't do this while this piece is lagging way back here. What do I do to get this piece up here? Am I actually going to do that? No. Okay, then that's a good sign. I need someone else. And the more you do and the more you find, I mean, I early on at your age, at your point in what you're doing that I was in, I was doing lots of everything. That's why I have so many things I can say I did.
Yeah.
And now I'm a lot more narrowed, niche down, but there's things to be said about going deep and about going broad.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, going broad can be okay.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, is just knowing like when it's time to do what.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
If you still have leisure time to do the things that you want to try, then do them. And when you find that you're like, I don't have time. I'm trying to do a thing. I'm trying to execute a thing and I don't have time. Then you'll know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
thank you.
This
so
has
much.
been good. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Well, I'll send you a confirmation link. I guess if you feel like we're done, I'll just send you a dummy appointment, and you can kind of like say, hey, this is finished, and then we can, cancel the calendar appointment if you feel like
If
there's
we
nothing
could
we need
set
to
up,
chat.
if we could set up like just a short, like 15 minutes to look
Sure.
at it one more time, fresh
Yeah, we could
again after
definitely do
some
that.
time.
You want to
'Cause-
set that up for like a week from now, 2 weeks from now? What would work good for you?
Yep. Let me go grab my calendar. My dog. I don't want to roll my chair over my dog. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Where are okay, today is the 29th. So that would be a week from today. Would be the 5th. That works.
5th. Let me drop this link here in the chat, so we can actually put it on the official calendar.
And I don't have anything scheduled yet on that day. So if there's a more convenient time for you or more conventional time for you, that's fine. It's just that today I had some other things that I was trying to juggle around.
All right. Yeah, I think the 5th looks open for me. Let's see. Let me just double check it on my booking thing. There's any slots. Page. Yeah, there's some times in the afternoon for that. On the 5th, yes.
Okay.
So the link that I just dropped in the chat, and I could send it to you on Facebook too, if that's easier. But
yeah,
just
probably if
figure
you send it to me in Messenger.
Sure. All right, I'll send it to you. And then just find the time that works for you, and that will be our official, rubber stamp that we're good to go.
Yeah.
And then I'll send you the document, and yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm really excited about having it all so concise, and because that felt like a holy grail for me, pulling together all of the different things I do into something that even remotely seemed concise.
Mm-hmm.
And you did a really great
Yeah.
job of distilling each of those things, and in almost all of them, really capturing the essence of what I was communicating before. And that's amazing. Lest you ever wonder if that's amazing, it is.
Thank you. That matters. That matters a great deal. I love hearing that feedback, and yeah, I'm hoping to do more of that kind of stuff for people. So
Yeah,
it's
if I
been
can
a
help
pleasure
you,
to.
if I can help you with a testimonial or anything like that, just let me know, the format you want or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Especially,
let's just right now, like in terms of you feeling like, because you've expressed before, you said things like, I felt like, man, just when it comes to marketing, I feel like kindergarten, I feel like I'm down here and I want to be up here. How would you describe in your head what you pictured as here's what I really wanted to accomplish, or here's what I would have liked to have to be able to communicate what I do in my business, and where you felt like you were at when it was all on your shoulders, when you had to think about doing it yourself or figuring out how to learn the things, like what did that feel like for you?
overwhelming. It felt overwhelming to have to figure out how to say all of the different things that I do in a way that could be compelling to other people and where they could find where they're at, because my experience and expertise covers such a wide range in dog ownership experience.
Mm.
Yeah.
And seeing, like, how would you describe to somebody who's like, yeah, I need to find a way to like clearly communicate what I do? How would you communicate to that person? Oh, you know what Aaron did for me? We did this. Like, what was the experience, or what was the outcome or the product, or what is it that you feel like you've got?
I really feel like that through mostly conversation and questions, you are able to get the information from me that you need to distill and then restate, repackage in a way that a layman could understand and find themselves in.
Cool.
Yeah. And
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 so,
and then and then create content for me to use that reflected that. Yeah.
so how does it feel having that, all that messaging like all kind of gathered in one place in a, you mentioned kind of in a concise form, like what does that feel like now being on the other side, having it had it done for you?
It feels like a lot of relief. It feels like pressure off. A solution that I didn't know how to find. So relief, I think, is probably the biggest word. I feel relieved to have that done, have that asset that I can now use and build from going forward.
Mm. What do you feel like this will help you with in your business, like having a message that you can, like, here's what I do?
Um, it'll definitely move me forward in being able to make a clear offer, and to know that some amount of what I do has already been communicated. And what'll it help me do? It'll really help me move forward in actually getting coaching or counseling sessions going for people. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a really good way to articulate it, but basically I felt held back because I didn't have a concise way to explain to people all the things that I know. And I don't feel held back by that now. So it's a lot easier to get right to, so how can I help you? Makes it, that's
Perfect.
it. That's it. It makes it easier for me to ask the question, how can I help you? Right. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, Leslie. Thank you so much for being willing to express that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to reconnecting next week. And again, congratulations on the win. That's super exciting for you and for your handler and for Karma. She's got a great career ahead of her. And hopefully we'll see some more champion standard schnauzers come from that line.
Oh, there's
That's
plenty more
exciting.
to come. There's more to come.
Well, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for your feedback and for your patience in the process. I very, very much appreciate you reaching out last week and just kind of giving me a little bit of breathing space from kind of recouping. So thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. It worked for me too, but yeah, I know that feeling. So you're welcome. And take care, and I'll see you next week.